If you hate typing as much as I do, then this video was made just for you. Stick around and I'll teach you how to unlock the power of your voice so that you never have to type again. I'm Dylan Stewart, the MacWhisperer, and in today's video, we're going to learn how to dictate on your iPhone, your iPad, and on your computer. Stick around for my MacWhisper power tip where I reveal how artificial intelligence and dictation work together on your Mac. Let's hop on over to the phone and get started. When the iPhone was first released back in 2007, its main competitor was the Blackberry. The Blackberry was everybody's favorite handheld device. And what made it everybody's favorite device? The physical keyboard. But the iPhone didn't have a physical keyboard. So as people started to go from the Blackberry over to the iPhone, they loved all the functionality, but they felt really frustrated with the virtual keyboard that the iPhone used. Way back in 2007, I was already using dictation. Here we are, almost 20 years later, and people are still struggling to use their iPhone keyboards and even struggling to use the keyboard on their Mac. It's not necessary anymore, people. Dictation has come a really long way and it's built into all of your Apple products. So we're going to walk through exactly how to use it on your iPhone. And for reference, the tips we're going to use on the iPhone also work perfectly on the iPad. The first thing we need to do is enable dictation inside of the settings section of your phone or iPad. Come into settings and scroll down till you find the general section right here. You're going to scroll all the way down until you see keyboard. Coming into the keyboard section, you're going to notice a bunch of options, and then down in this section, you're going to find the dictation tools. The first thing we're going to do is turn on dictation, just like this. When you first enable dictation, Apple's going to warn you that some of the things that you say while dictation is turned on may run through Apple's servers. Go ahead and click the Enable Dictation button. Now, down below that, you're going to see another function called auto punctuation. This means as you are dictating, it can add periods, commas, exclamation points, and question marks into your dictation for you. Over the years, I've found that auto dictation is not very good, and I'm pretty good at using punctuation myself, so I tend to leave this turned off, which means that while I'm speaking, I will use the words period or comma or new line or new paragraph to make sure that my dictation is formatted properly. If you don't want to use punctuation marks, you should turn on auto punctuation here. But for me, I'm just going to leave it off. Let's go into an app where we can explore how to use dictation. We're going to go right into Notes and open up a new note right here. For clarity, you can dictate anywhere on your computer. In fact, whenever you've got a keyboard, you should notice this little microphone in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. This is your dictation microphone. And I don't want you to confuse dictation with Siri. Siri and dictation can work together. For example, you can ask Siri to send someone a text and it will write the words of the text for you. But dictation is much more powerful than Siri by itself. When we're inside of an app like Notes, we can click on the dictation button down in the bottom right-hand corner here, and it will start transcribing whatever we say, just like this. As we talk, the words appear right in front of us, and if we need to add punctuation, we can do it by saying things like period, or like comma, or like question mark, exclamation point, or even the names of certain emojis. For example, if you say heart emoji, you'll get a heart emoji, just like that. And it's easy to dictate with these punctuation commands. There are some really powerful punctuation commands that I want to discuss while we're doing this dictation, but I'd like to start a fresh dictation to do it a little bit cleaner. Don't forget to deactivate the dictation when you're done, or it'll just keep typing everything you say. Let's turn it off right here. Just like that, it's captured a large amount of what we said pretty perfectly. Now let's do another quick dictation where I'm going to show you some of the best formatting tools that you can use to make sure your dictation works perfectly. To do that, let's click the Done button in the upper right-hand corner and the New Note button in the bottom right corner. Now this time, as I dictate, I want you to listen to some of the commands that I use. You'll hear me call out punctuation marks, you'll hear me say new line and new paragraph, and you'll even hear me call out specific emojis. It works like this. First, we're going to hit dictation. The story of the bear, the goldfish, and the dragon. New paragraph. Once upon a time, in a magical forest, tree emoji, there lived a bear, bear emoji, a goldfish, fish emoji, and a dragon! Exclamation point. New paragraph. Everything was perfect in the forest until the dragon decided to start breathing fire. Fire emoji! Exclamation point. New paragraph. The bear and the goldfish were very frightened, but they decided to hug the dragon until love was in his heart, heart emoji, and then everyone was happy! Exclamation point. New line. It's the end of a very happy story when the bear, the goldfish, and the dragon became friends! Exclamation point. Red heart emoji. You can see how easily you can dictate, adding emojis by simply saying their name and using punctuations like comma, period, exclamation point, question mark, or formatting tools like new line to give 1 carriage return or new paragraph to give 2 carriage returns. You can also use things like open parentheses and close parentheses or open quote and close quote. In most cases, you can dictate the vast majority of what you want to say without ever having to correct it, add punctuation, or come in and edit it. It's a fantastic tool, but it's just the beginning of this conversation. Because as we leave the iPhone behind, we're going to step onto the computer and I'm going to teach you how to dictate there. Before we leave the phone, remember that everything we did on the iPhone will work exactly the same on the iPad. Let's hop on over to the computer and continue our lesson. As powerful as it is to use dictation on your phone, because it's much easier than typing on that tiny virtual keyboard, it's even helpful to use dictation on your computer. Sure, you've got a nice keyboard and maybe you're a fantastic 10-finger typist, but most of us speak faster than we type. And it's easy to turn on dictation right from your computer. To start with, we're going to come down to our settings section, and from settings, you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom on the left side until you get to keyboard. Remember that dictation is considered a keyboard command, which is why it shows up under the keyboard settings on the phone, the iPad, and the computer. Let's click on keyboard. And as we scroll through the options, we're going to notice this dictation section right here. First off, let's turn it on. Again, when you do, it's going to warn you that some of the things you say might be sent through Apple's servers. Once again, I'm totally okay with this, so I'm going to click the Enable button right here. Once I do that, you'll notice that the dictation button on the right has been turned on. Down below that, you can choose whatever language you'd like to dictate in, and in addition to that, you choose which microphone you want to use. If you have AirPods, you may want to choose the AirPods for your dictation microphone because they tend to be a little bit more accurate than the built-in Mac microphone, but the automatic choice is usually good enough. Down below that, we're going to need to choose a shortcut to turn on and off dictation easily. If you come and click on this section, you're going to see several different options. You might want to use the microphone button, which works great if you have a laptop or a Mac keyboard with the F5 microphone button enabled on it. Otherwise, you may want to choose the Control key or the World key that shows up in the lower left corner of your keyboard. For me, I like to use the right Command key because I don't really use the right Command key for anything, so it's an easy key for me to use to turn on and off dictation. So I've set it to press the right Command key twice in order to enable it. Down below that, we've got our option for auto punctuation, which once again, I'm not going to use, but you're more than welcome to use it. We're going to get out of settings right here and come right into a new note. Keep in mind, just like on the iPhone and the iPad, you can dictate anywhere that you've got a keyboard. That means you can dictate in Safari or in Notes or in Calendar or even on Facebook. It doesn't really matter as long as you've got a keyboard, and the same is true on your computer. You can dictate anywhere. So in order to turn the dictation on, I'm going to double-click the right Command key just like this. And as soon as I do, you'll notice that microphone appeared right on my note, and as I started speaking, it started transcribing everything that I said. Exclamation point. New paragraph. Don't forget that you can use the same formatting tools that we used on the phone. Exclamation point. New paragraph. It's easy to do all sorts of basic formatting, whether it's as simple as adding a comma, or adding parentheses. Simply say open parentheses, and it will format it as an open parentheses. And then by saying close parentheses, it'll close that. You can also add quotation marks by saying open quote, this is what I'm going to say, close quote to finish it up. You can use new line to create one line, new line, and it will drop you down by one line. While if you say new paragraph, it will drop you down by two, just like that. And it's easy to type up emojis by simply calling out their name, like heart emoji, crown emoji, baby emoji, or duck emoji. Don't worry if it doesn't get the emojis right. You need to have the exact right name in order for it to print them, which you can find by looking in your emoji keyboard and hovering over any emoji. But just like this, you can dictate your thoughts and get them down on a piece of paper without even using your hands at all. Exclamation point, new paragraph, all caps, isn't that cool? Exclamation point. When you're done, don't forget to click the shortcut button again to turn off the microphone. You can use the escape button in the upper left-hand corner of your keyboard or the same key you use to enable the dictation. I'm going to click the right command key right here. And it finishes up the dictation and sets you up for whatever you need to type or do next. Dictation is so powerful, and once you learn to use it on your phone, your iPad, and your computer, and learn how to format and use emojis or all sorts of punctuation marks, you can type anything without having to use your keyboard at all. But there's a power tip that I haven't shared with you, and this one is a complete game changer. But before I reveal it, if you've already gotten great value and you're thinking to yourself, I'm never going to type again. Dylan is a lifesaver. Give this video a thumbs up because it makes it so much easier for other people to find it and means a lot to me. If you've got a question or a comment, drop it in the comments section down below. I love to hear from you guys and I'll always respond to your messages. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, unfortunately you can't do that with the power of your voice easily. But it's still simple enough to just hit that subscribe button and that notify bell so you're always alerted whenever I drop new content. Now let's hit our dictation button and get into the power tip! Exclamation point. Dictation is an amazing tool, and whether you use it on your phone, your iPad, or your computer, it's just going to simplify so many things that you do. Whenever I'm typing, texting, emailing, or writing a note to myself, I'm usually doing it with my voice rather than typing. In my opinion, the iPhone keyboard is too small, the iPad keyboard is too clunky, and the computer keyboard is just not as fast as my voice. So I tend to use dictation all over the place. But one of the problems that I found with dictation is sometimes I make mistakes. I say things wrong, it hears them wrong, and it processes it wrong. Then I've got to go back through that dictation and correct it, which is where artificial intelligence comes in to save the day. There are two different AI dictation tools that we're going to talk about here. The first one is called Wispr Flow. And let's open Wispr Flow up. Wispr Flow is a fantastic and easy tool. You can find a link to it in the description. When you download Wispr Flow and set it up, it makes it super easy to dictate anything. And the best part of it is that it uses AI in order to clean up your dictation and make it look and sound even better than the way you originally created it. To show you what I mean, let's go into a brand new note and let's use Wispr Flow to dictate. Now, Wispr Flow works by connecting to a key on your keyboard. In my case, I'm using the function button in the lower left-hand corner of the keyboard. That's actually the default setting that Wispr Flow recommends. You'll also notice when you've installed Wispr Flow that on your screen you'll see this bubble right down here. You can start dictating by clicking on that bubble and it will immediately listen to what you say and process it. But you can also use the keyboard key, which I find to be a little bit easier. There's two different ways to use the keyboard key. You can either press and hold and continue to hold it while you dictate and release it in order to process your dictation, or you can double click it, in which case it will stay open, and then click it again to finalize your dictation and process it. You won't see what you're saying until you're done processing the dictation. So as you get started, it's helpful to do it in small chunks rather than trying to dictate your entire life story in one run. I'm going to press the function button and start dictating. I really love using dictation tools on the computer because it makes it so easy for me to get my thoughts down on paper without having to type them and without having to make sure I can spell everything correctly. What's really nice about Wispr Flow is I don't need to worry about adding punctuation or adding in any other information. It tends to know what I'm looking for and format it perfectly. It works really well when I use a list. For example, here are 3 things I love about Wispr Flow. 1, it's fast. 2, it's reliable. And 3, it makes everything I do easier and simpler. Now I'm going to release the function button and let's see what it captured. Look at how great of a job it did, adding punctuation mostly appropriately and even formatting our list just the way I hoped. This time, I'm going to do the dictation by double-clicking on the function button. Notice that when I do this, the bubble down at the bottom looks a little bit different, and I don't have to keep my hands engaged. As I continue to talk, Wispr Flow continues to grab everything I'm saying and process it. Don't worry if you stumble in your speech or you say the same thing twice. It will usually correct any basic errors and make it look like you said everything perfectly, even when you might have stalled or stuttered or done something wrong. Let's see how it did by clicking the function button again to process it. And it shows exactly what I said. It even created additional paragraphs. And if we look through this, you'll see that it completely fixed most of my errors, my stuttering, my stalls, and even the incorrect words that I threw into my speech. That's what I love about using a program like Wispr Flow, is it does all the back-end work of cleaning up this document for you so that you can safely dictate without worrying about what it's going to look like on the other side. But we're also going to talk about another program, which is ironically called MacWhisper. Not MacWhisperer, like me, but MacWhisper. It's almost impossible to trademark the word Mac since Apple owns the trademark for Mac. And so MacWhisper and MacWhisperer will just have to get along with each other even though our names are so similar. I actually really like the MacWhisper app, and it offers all sorts of powerful tools. It's not just for dictation. It can also transcribe files, record meetings like on Zoom or Google Meets. It can do batch transcription of multiple audio files or record audio from an app. But for this situation, we're specifically using the dictation tool. And much like Wispr Flow, when you come into MacWhisper and open up dictation, you're going to need to set up some settings for how you want the dictation to work. You'll notice up here that you can set up a custom keyboard shortcut. I've chosen to use the F12 button. You can use other ones. Down below, you've got 2 activation modes. Toggle mode, meaning when you press it, it stays on until you press it again and it turns off, or push to talk, meaning press and hold the button and keep holding it while you're dictating. For MacWhisper, I tend to use the toggle. What differentiates MacWhisper from Wispr Flow is the ability to connect it to your preferred AI service. I have a subscription to ChatGPT, which is run through OpenAI. So I've connected MacWhisper to my own OpenAI account. This means that in addition to using MacWhisper to clean up my dictations, I can give it additional prompts. By coming down here to where it says Configure Prompts, you can create any kind of prompt you like. The one that I've chosen to use for this example is an emoji creating prompt. So in addition to cleaning up whatever I say, it's going to automatically add emojis into my document. Let me show you how it looks. Let's bring up our note right here. Remember, for me, I've got it set to toggle by pressing the F12. So I'm going to click that and give it a little dictation. Once upon a time in the deep, dark reaches of space, there was an evil space master and a friendly space maiden, and they came together to create unbelievably adorable little space babies. When I'm complete, I'm going to press the F12 button again to stop dictating, and it's going to process everything that I said and add emojis in. Just like that. Whether you're going to use something like Wispr Flow to get your ideas down on the page quickly, or something like MacWhisper, which can do all sorts of other things, including translating your words into other languages, using artificial intelligence with dictation takes everything we talked about in this lesson up to the next level. I can't stand using a keyboard on my iPhone, my iPad, or my computer. I'm just faster with my voice. And now with all of these fantastic tools, you can stop using your keyboard too. You're welcome. So that's what I've got for today's lesson, all about how to use dictation. I hope you learned a ton, but remember, there's always more to learn. Check out this video over here for even more amazing Apple tips and tricks. I'm Dylan Stewart, the Mac Whisperer, and I'll see you in the comments.